I'm 28, married to Henry, who's 32. We've been together for years now, and honestly, I don't even know how to describe our marriage anymore. Henry's a software developer. Smart, successful, the kind of guy who's always had his life together. He works a lot, probably around 70 hours a week. And when he's home, he's glued to his video games. He barely talks to me, barely notices me unless it's about something practical like bills or groceries. I've tried to get his attention, planning dates, initiating conversations, even trying to join him in his hobbies, but it's like he's just not there. We have a daughter, Mia. She's 2 now, and honestly, she's the brightest part of my life. But Henry isn't really involved with her either. He'll maybe sit with her for 5 minutes while she's playing, but then he's back to his screens. I quit my job when I got pregnant with Mia, so I'm a stay-at-home mom now. That's when things started to feel empty, I guess. Luckily, I have Emma. She's been my best friend since childhood. She's also 28 and a stay-at-home mom to her daughter Ella, who's also 2. Mia and Ella are basically inseparable. We take them on playdates almost every day, to the park, the beach, even little weekend trips since our husbands are always working. Honestly, Emma and I pretty much function as each other's emotional support system at this point. Emma's marriage isn't exactly ideal either. Her husband, Matt, 34, is a corporate lawyer, the kind of guy who works insane hours and treats Emma more like a trophy than a partner. He barely interacts with Ella, and when it comes to Emma, all he really wants is sex. No emotional intimacy, no real connection. Matt's gained some weight over the years, and while Emma's never said it directly, I know she feels pretty disconnected from him. But here's where things get complicated. Henry has a younger brother, Jack. He's 28, tall, like 6 feet 3 inches, athletic and super charming. He co-owns a gym with a friend, and he's basically the polar opposite of Henry, funny, confident, easygoing. He's always been a ladies' man, and the women at my yoga class, which happens to be at his gym, are obsessed with him. He's dating Sarah, who's, well, kind of bitchy if I'm being honest. Jack and Henry have never been close. Henry always looked down on Jack for not going to college and for working in fitness instead of something more prestigious. He said some pretty condescending things about Jack's intelligence over the years, which always rubbed me the wrong way. But Jack has always seemed so genuine and hardworking. He built that gym from the ground up, and he makes just as much as Henry does now. The thing is, Mia adores Jack. Maggie, Henry and Jack's mom, babysits Mia a couple of times a week at her beach house, and Jack's usually there. He plays with her, takes her down to the water, builds sandcastles with her. He's so natural with her in a way that Henry just isn't. Mia even calls him Uncle Jack all the time and talks about him more than she talks about Henry. It hurts, honestly, seeing Mia connect with Jack the way I wish she would with Henry. Maggie, by the way, definitely has a favorite son, and it's Jack. She never really got along with Henry, mostly because Henry's turned into their father. Work-obsessed, emotionally distant, and kind of cold. Jack's the one she leans on. And honestly, I don't blame her. A few days ago, me and Emma were sitting in her kitchen while the girls were napping, just having coffee like usual, when Emma suddenly says, "I have to tell you something." I could tell by the way she said it that it was serious. And then she just dropped it. She's been having an affair. For a few months now. Apparently, it's with Leo, one of the co-owners of Jack's gym. He's tall, gorgeous, super fit, basically a younger version of Jack, but maybe even more laid back. I definitely noticed that Emma had been dressing differently lately, wearing more makeup, buying sexier clothes and lingerie during our shopping trips. I figured maybe she was just trying to feel better about herself, but yeah, guess not. Emma said it all started because she was so tired of Matt, of feeling ignored, treated like a trophy, and just used for sex with zero emotional connection. One day after a yoga class, Leo struck up a conversation with her, and it spiraled from there. She said he made her feel seen, told her how beautiful she was, how funny she was. One thing led to another, and now, they've been sleeping together regularly. And not just that, she's in love with him. She told me that 3 or 4 times a week, after Matt leaves for work, and after she drops Ella off at her mom Liz's house, she heads over to Leo's place. They'll play music, cuddle on the couch, she'll cook for him. And then they have sex. Apparently, mind-blowing sex. Multiple rounds. Way better than anything Matt has ever given her, according to Emma. And here's the kicker. Emma has even introduced Ella to Leo. He's taken them both to the park, to the beach, basically acting like a father figure in a way that Matt never has. Ella adores him. And Emma's started to imagine a future where Leo is the father figure Ella never had. She's even stopped sleeping with Matt completely since the affair started. Matt's frustrated, obviously, but Emma doesn't care anymore. She's working on an exit plan with her mom Liz's help. Apparently, Liz never liked Matt and has been fully supportive of Emma leaving him. Liz babysits Ella when Emma's with Leo and is even helping her figure out how to get the best settlement in the divorce so Emma can start a new life with Leo. When Emma told me all this, I just sat there stunned. Part of me was shocked, but honestly, a part of me was jealous. Emma's having this passionate, exciting affair with a guy who actually wants her. Someone who makes her feel beautiful and appreciated. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here in my quiet, boring marriage with Henry, feeling invisible, unwanted, and emotionally starved. I know it's wrong, but I couldn't help but wonder what it would feel like to have someone look at me the way Leo looks at Emma. And the craziest part? I don't even feel angry at Emma. I don't think I could ever do what she's doing, but I get it. I understand why she's doing it. When you feel ignored and neglected for so long, and then someone comes along and makes you feel wanted, how could you not be tempted? After Emma told me about her affair with Leo, things started shifting for me too, in ways I didn't expect. Emma ended up introducing me to Leo not long after that conversation. And of course, Leo is exactly how Emma described him. Tall, gorgeous, and ridiculously charming. He's got that confident, easygoing vibe that just pulls you in. But the bigger thing was finding out that Leo and Jack, Henry's younger brother, are good friends and co-own the gym together. That's how it all started. Emma started using our yoga outings as a cover for her affair with Leo. While she was off hooking up with him in the gym's private rooms, or sometimes even in his car, Jack started offering to give me personal training sessions. It seemed harmless at first. I mean, Jack's family, right? And I know Henry would never think twice about me spending time with his brother. But from the very first session, there was this tension. Jack is just different from Henry in every way. He's tall, athletic, confident, but not cocky. He makes me laugh. He actually listens when I talk. And he's so present with Mia, too. He's not like Henry, cold and distracted. He actually sees me. At first, it was just little things. Hanging out after workouts, getting coffee together. Talking on the phone at night after Henry had fallen asleep. It all felt innocent enough, just friends reconnecting. But then it became more. We started texting constantly, in the morning, during the day, at night. He'd send me funny memes and ask about my day. We started going on lunch dates. And then it turned into movies. He'd hold my hand in the dark, and I'd feel this warmth that I hadn't felt in years. The first time we kissed was after lunch one day. We got back to his car, and I don't even know how it happened. 1 second we were talking, and the next his mouth was on mine. And it wasn't some soft, innocent kiss. It was deep and hungry, like he'd been holding himself back for weeks. After that, things escalated fast. Jack started touching me more. His hand on my thigh while we sat on the couch, brushing his fingers over my back when we were walking. And I let him. I wanted it. One night, we were watching a movie at his place. I was wearing a short skirt, which was very much intentional. His hand slid under my skirt, and I didn't stop him. I let him touch me, and when he brought me to climax right there on his couch, I didn't feel guilty. I felt alive. A few weeks later, things went even further. We were in his car after another lunch date, and we were making out so intensely that I was already completely turned on. He unzipped his jeans and asked me if I'd go down on him. I hesitated for a second. I mean, I'd never done that before. Not even with Henry. But I was so turned on, and Jack had already made me feel so good that it felt fair. Like I owed him that. So I did it. And I wanted to. It wasn't something I forced myself to do. It was something I wanted to give him. And when I was done, he pulled me into his arms and kissed me. Deeply. Even though I had just had him in my mouth. That's when I knew I had completely fallen in love with him. I think about him all the time now. I dress for him, short skirts, tight dresses. I put on lipstick just so he'll notice. I'm not even subtle about it anymore. I want him to look at me like that. And he does. And Henry? He has no clue. He's so busy with work and his video games that he hasn't even noticed how different I've been acting. He hasn't noticed how much time I've been spending with Jack. He hasn't even questioned why I'm suddenly so happy. Emma knows, of course. She's the one who encouraged it. She told me, why not? Henry doesn't care. Jack's hot, and you deserve to be happy. And honestly, she's right. I don't even feel guilty anymore. Jack makes me feel wanted. He makes me feel alive. A few nights ago, Jack and Leo took Emma and me out on a double date. It was at this super fancy restaurant. White tablecloths, soft lighting, expensive wine. The kind of place Henry would never take me. Henry isn't romantic. He sees dinners as just a functional part of the day. Eat and get it over with. But with Jack, it was different. He pulled out my chair, rested his hand on my lower back when we walked in. He looked at me like I was the only person in the room. Leo was doing the same with Emma, kissing her hand, whispering things in her ear that made her laugh. They were so comfortable together, so intimate. Matt had no clue, of course. Emma was practically living a double life at this point, using Matt's credit card to fund dates and weekend trips with Leo while Matt was working 70-hour weeks. Emma had moved past the guilt. Now it was just normal for her, having a boyfriend while still being legally married. After dinner, Jack suggested we go back to his place. My heart was racing the entire drive there. I knew where this was going. I wanted it to go there. I had wanted him for weeks. His house was quiet and dimly lit. He poured me a glass of wine and we sat on his couch, talking for a little while. But honestly, the talking part didn't last long. He leaned in, kissed me, and before I knew it, we were making out so intensely that I could barely breathe. He pulled me onto his lap, his hands sliding under my dress, and I didn't stop him. I didn't want to stop him. Jack picked me up and carried me to his bedroom. His bed smelled like him, clean, masculine, familiar. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst out of my chest. We started kissing again, and all the familiar arousal took over. But this time was different, more intense. Henry and I have never had a good sex life. He's always been distant, quick to finish, not very attentive to what I wanted. Honestly, sex with Henry had always felt like an obligation, something I had to give him. I had never even liked sex with Henry. But with Jack, it was completely different. Jack took his time. He knew exactly how to touch me, where to touch me. His hands were gentle but firm, and when he moved down, I nearly lost my mind. Henry never, not once, had gone down on me. But Jack, he knew exactly what he was doing. His tongue, his fingers, it was like he knew my body better than I did. He made me climax so hard I almost cried. But he wasn't done. He slid up my body, kissed me deeply, and then slid inside me. We hadn't talked about birth control. I wasn't on anything, and he didn't use protection. My cycle was dangerously close to my fertile window, but in that moment, I didn't care. I wanted him. I wanted all of him. He moved inside me with this intensity that left me breathless. He kissed me while he did it, soft, deep kisses that made me feel more connected to him than I had ever felt to Henry. He knew how to move, how to adjust, how to keep the stimulation building without losing momentum. He made me climax again, and then again. And when he finished, I could feel him release inside me. He didn't pull away. He stayed close, his forehead pressed against mine, breathing heavily. And that's when it happened. "I love you," I whispered. He smiled and kissed me deeply. "I love you too." Afterward, we just lay there, tangled up in the sheets, his arm draped over my waist. He kept kissing my shoulder, running his hand down my back. I didn't feel guilt or regret. I felt complete. Satisfied. Loved. That night was the start of it. The beginning of a full-blown affair. Now it's not just sneaking kisses or heated touches. It's sex. Real, emotional, physical connection. Jack and I have crossed that final line, and there's no turning back. And Henry? He still has no idea. He comes home late, plays his video games, and barely notices when I slip out for my yoga class or my coffee with Emma. He doesn't even ask where I am anymore. I'm not sure how long I can keep this up. But right now, I don't care. I'm in love with Jack. And after years of feeling ignored and invisible, I finally feel seen. I know I'm playing with fire. But honestly, I'm not ready to stop burning. This is Evelyn, and this story was sent to me by a subscriber who wished to remain anonymous. Some secrets are never meant to be told, and some mistakes will forever stay buried.